Hello, Kendra. Hello, everyone.
Draymond,
It's good to see you as well. What's up, man?
this team is not used to these long off seasons like you had this off season. What was that like for you? Because you guys are usually, running around until June and stuff.
It was weird. You kind of worked out, or took a break, worked out, got bored, took another break, started back working out. But just did a lot of stuff that had nothing to do with basketball. Spent a lot of time with family. Got a lot of stuff done on the business side. So, just try to take advantage of the time, but it was definitely weird. It was long.
Was there enough time to physically refresh a little bit?
Yeah, you definitely, within reason as much as you can. It's funny because I was telling my trainer, we were lifting yesterday, and he's like, how your body feel? It's like, I feel good. He's like, all right, so you're 100%. I'm like, I'll never be 100%. That'll never happen for me. But, within reason of 13 years of basketball, I feel great, And so, yeah, you try to let your body recover as much as you can, but after all the wear and tear, I don't think you ever see 100% again. And
the last thing is, how much did you personally miss the postseason? I mean, that's what you guys play for.
I miss it a lot. I tend to play my best basketball that time of year, so to not kind of have that outlet, if you will, that's you go the whole season looking forward to that, and to not play in it, and it's never fun. But we're about 6 months removed from not playing in it, so it doesn't feel as bad as it felt when it was going on. But it was tough to watch.
Draymond, we know you went up to Paris for the final game or final two games.
I went for the final game.
Final game, yeah. Just what was you've seen Steph do that many times, but to see him do it there at this stage in both of your careers, just what was
it had absolutely nothing to do with me.
Yeah, okay.
But to see him kind of embrace that moment, with the who's of basketball, especially over the last 20 years. And I think what I appreciated most about it was watching the guys that don't get to play with him, how their reactions to being on the same side as him. I thought that was pretty cool, to see him after all these years of not playing in the Olympics, and everybody's, Steph's never played in the Olympics. Is he going to do the Olympics? He's going to end his career not doing the Olympics. And to watch him go own that moment the way he owned the moment. Only he can do that, he had a very pedestrian Olympics. And then he get to the final two games, and it's Steph, right? Most people in his, if you're in that situation, most people, you get taken out of the lineup, you get, it doesn't end the way it ended for him, But with Steph, he wasn't shooting well, but you always know it only takes one, and he hit one, and you know what follows, and we saw it happen. And so I thought it was absolutely incredible to see. I was honored to be there for the moment, to watch him have that moment and to witness that. It was amazing because all of the stuff he's done in the NBA is great, and everybody around the world knows him. Outside of America, I think everyone else takes the Olympics more serious. If you go talk to most Europeans, they probably would rather win an Olympic gold medal rather than win an NBA championship. It's not that way for us growing up. You grow up in America, the goal is to win an NBA championship. All of a sudden you realize oh man, I may be good enough to play on Team USA. I want the opportunity to win an Olympic gold medal. Nikola Jokic grew up dreaming of winning an Olympic gold medal, not winning an NBA championship. To see him on that stage where everyone else in the world is watching that thing and that's the thing that you need to do in order to be this guy in our eyes. Michael Jordan went to Barcelona in 1992. Look what he did, right? You start to look at what those guys have done, and Steph needed that. And to watch him not only go get it, like we all, we always say you play on Team USA, the hard part is making the team. Once you make the team, we're going to win, so you're going to get a gold medal. He made that his moment in getting the gold medal. And that was as special as anything I've ever seen him do.
You guys certainly recruited Paul George this summer, even tried to get it on the marketing. That didn't happen. I was just wondering your perspective on, those things not happening and what the roster kind of reconfigured to where it is today.
I like the way the job Mike's done with reconfiguring the roster. I thought Mike did it and Joe and his organization, they did an incredible job of not panicking. In the moment where you feel like, you miss out on the guy or two, most people go make a bad deal because everyone around the world, the microscope that's always on this organization for the last 10 years, it's still there. And everyone around has thoughts about what this team should look like, the makeup of the roster, who they think should be on the roster. And to see them stand pat and say, no, we're going to pluck away. We're going to sign a Buddy Hield. We're going to sign a DeAnthony Melton. We're going to sign a Kyle Anderson and just pluck away and chip away at it. I thought that was incredible. I thought it shows who this organization is, and it is a testament to Mike Dunleavy and who he is as a basketball mind, a guy who's grown up in the NBA his whole life. And like I said, in most situations you see someone panic and they make a move that set them back for 5 years. And you set one move in this league, it can pretty much set you up for how the next 10 years of your organization is going to go. And, sometimes the best deal you can make is to not make a deal. And I think, we did a great job in going out and getting pieces that's going to help this team grow, that will allow young guys opportunity to grow, and yet keeping the future of this organization as bright as it's ever been.
Did you enter this offseason thinking, considering how the past 2 seasons went, like we do need a little bit of a facelift, a bit of a changing with the roster?
I think every year, even when you win a championship, you need a facelift. The likelihood that you're going to win a championship, return with the same exact team and win again is hard because everyone is now building to beat that team that just won. And so my approach, it's no different than if you just won a championship. When we won a championship in 2022, that next year we were trying to figure out what moves can we make that are going to help us win a championship, because we won't go back again with this team and win another championship. That's just not the way it goes. And so I think the mindset is the same. Every year you go into the summer, you better be looking to get better. If you won a championship and you're not looking to get better, you will lose next year. If you didn't win a championship, you better be trying to figure out how to win it. And so I think my mindset is the same as going in every year. Like, all right, we didn't get it done this year. What can we do to possibly put ourselves in a position to get it done? Or we got it done, and it's about to be hard as hell to get it done again the next year. So I think you kind of got to be along that same mindset regardless of whether you win or lose.
And you said you aren't ever going to be 100% at this point, but how do you feel heading into the season, specifically mentally, considering a lot of what happened last year? Just how are you?
I feel great headed to the season. Mentally, I feel great. Physically, I feel great. The time off to get away from the game of basketball, have a break after the many years that we've been doing this is never too much of a bad thing. Try to find things that you can to keep your mind busy, but also make sure you're doing things to get better and staying sharp. And so just always trying to find that balance. But overall, going into the season, I'm excited. It's a new opportunity, new challenge. With Klay leaving here, things just look different. It feels different. It's not the same thing anymore. For so long, it's just been the same thing. And I think with it being the same thing, it makes it even tougher to perform at a high level, because it's like, the drummer usually gets mad in the band and the band breakup, or the not the lead singer, but one of the next guys in line, they get upset and the band falls apart. That's because you get tired of doing the same thing over and over and over and over, and you get bored with chasing that greatness. And I think we did a great job of not getting bored chasing the greatness, always trying to give ourselves a chance to compete at the highest level and compete for championships. And now, we turn the page. And turning the page doesn't mean we're still not competing for the same thing. That's always the goal. But it's just going to look a little different now. It's not going to look the way it's looked for the last 13 years or 12 years. And that you go into it with a little uncertainty because after 12 years or something, you kind of grow accustomed to it. But at the same time, where there's the most uncertainty, that's usually the biggest opportunity for growth. So that's kind of where we are, and I'm looking forward to that challenge.
Draymond, over here. People worry about you. Fans, maybe your teammates.
Why they worry about me?
Well,
I am a successful black man in America doing incredibly well. What's the worry
They
about
worry
me?
about you.
There are way more people in this world to worry about than me, that's for sure.
But we're here now. So
we're all here. I don't think you should worry about me.
Okay.
I'm doing pretty well. If you would have told me when I was 13 years old that you'd be sitting here and somebody would say they're worried about you, I would have probably told them they were out of their mind. I'd be sitting here and they'd be worried about me.
Well, they're worried from themselves too. They want to know.
They don't feed.
They know the team needs you.
So why are they worried?
Because they know the team needs you.
But they don't feed
and
them.
They don't know if you're going to be here.
Doing this. I'm here. I've been here for 13 years now.
If you're going to be here every night.
Been here pretty much every night for 13 years.
Not so.
Very much so.
Then you missed some.
We all have. Look, Kevon Looney played 82 games 2 years in a row, and everybody was celebrating. We all miss games.
No, what I'm talking about, they want to know if you're going to be here, like, mentally.
I'm always here. And suspensions, the guideline of getting suspended is something that's in place because it's a possibility. So
there's nothing changed in that respect.
I don't know what would change. Well, I don't get the question. I think my mindset has helped us do some great things. It's pretty cool. So it's all about how you spin it. I love how you try and spin it, but it ain't my spin to it, player. So yeah, it's good.
Two more.
Draymond, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Ron?
Good, thanks. The four young guys, Kuminga and Moody, obviously going to their fourth year. What specifically can they do to take another step forward? And how much do you expect from Brandon and Trace now that they had their rookie season? There usually is a big difference coming in your second year, obviously.
What can they do differently? I think when you look at all four of them, from J.K., Moses, BP, and Trace, when you look at all four of them, I think from the time we first saw them to where they are now, all four of them, I think we can all see the growth. And on this journey, that's all you can ask for. The rate that growth happens, it varies for everyone. Steph Curry's biggest level of growth probably came between years 4 and 5. Like, that's when he started to really become Steph Curry. LeBron James was an all-star in year 2. You look at where the two are today, and I don't think you would guess that one was like that in year 2 and the other one became that in year 5 or year 6. But that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles sometimes, because it's not a direct science, It's lineups, which is based off coaching. Sometimes nothing you can do about that. It's shots that you're getting. Is coach running plays for you, or are you just getting your shots when the ball comes to you in the flow of offense? All of those things make a difference in terms of a guy's development and where they are in their careers. And so I think when I look at all four of those guys, the thing that I can appreciate most is their work ethics and where they are today as opposed to where they were when I first saw them. And all of them have made considerable strides. I think one thing that every young guy has to figure out, and I think those four have to figure it out as well, is what makes you an all-star in this league, what makes you a household name in this league. More important than anything is consistency. And I think when you deal with young guys, the one thing that you see wane more than anything is the consistency in which they do it. And that's because it's hard as hell to learn how to go out there and do that for 82 nights. 82 nights, then the playoffs. But once you become one of those household names and got to do it for 82 nights, then the requirements of everything else that you have to do, you're now learning and picking up on that. Those are all the things that we never take into account. When I was in my second year coming off the bench, the amount of asks that I had at media day, my sheet was probably filled up halfway. The amount of asks that it is once I started to become who I became in the league is 2 sheets long, full of things to do, right? Like, you're adjusting to all of these things. And the reality is the only part that people ever take into account is what they see you do on the basketball court. But the amount of adjustments that you can be dealing with in life, in your career. And for those young guys, I think they just have to embrace that. They have to approach the night, every single night, with the same intensity, the same mentality, understanding that I'm trying to reach this level of consistency that's going to make me a household name, that's going to make me indispensable role player, that's going to make me a superstar, that's going to make me an all-star. It's a level of consistency that they all have to reach, and I don't think either one of them have reached it yet, and I think that should be the goal for everybody. It's not about what you do, whether you go out and score 20 points a night or get 10 rebounds a night. That's not the most important thing. You're going to do one of those things, whatever the thing is that you're great at and that the team needs you to do. But what's more important is that you can bring that to that team every single night, because the guys around you are going to depend on you to bring that every single night. The coaching staff their game plan is going to be based on you doing that thing every single night. And I think that's the biggest thing that young guys have to adjust to, and these four guys are no different.
I'm going to double barrel this. And I know it's early, but what difference do you think the new additions can make on this team? And is there anybody in particular among them that you're really curious or interested to play with to see what they can do?
I think new additions were the reason we won a championship in 2022. The signing of Otto Porter, the signing of Nemanja Bjelica, the signing of Gary Payton II. Those new additions are what took us from a borderline play-in team to a championship team. I always tell people, and I'm sure y'all have heard me say this before, championships are won 6 through 10. Championships aren't won 1 through 5. We see great 1 through 5s all the time, and everybody in the world is like, uh-oh, watch out for that team. Look at that starting 5. How are you going to beat that team? And then you get in the season and they lose in the first round, and you realize, like, they ain't that good. That's because they were 1 to 5 dominant. The teams that you see that got a really good 1 to 5, but they're 6 through 10 is strong, those are the teams that are going to compete for championships. And so when you're speaking of the new additions, when I look at guys like DeAnthony, Kyle Anderson, Buddy, that's Nemanja Bjelica, Otto Porter. Those are guys that come in that I know exactly what I can sit here and tell you right now exactly what those 3 guys are going to bring to this team. We know. I know when we talked about the level of consistency with the young guys, I know the level of consistency that they're going to bring that at. That's what helps you get to conference finals, NBA finals. It's those guys. And no one ever gives them credit. it's the Derek Whites of the world. Derek White been getting a lot of credit over the summer, right? Like, he ended up starting for the Boston Celtics. But he was really brought in to be like 6th, 7th, 8th man, right? Like, that's the stuff that really pushes you over the top. Al Horford. Like, Al Horford wasn't supposed to start on that team. Like, Porzingis was supposed to be the starter, right? Which makes Al Horford your 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th man. That's how you win championships, when you strong there. And so when I look at the new additions on this team, they're proven guys that's respected around this league, guys that you know what they're going to bring every night. And last time we added guys like that, we did what we love to do. So I like it.
Bonjour, Stéphane. So this is for a French and African TV channel. I don't know if you have a few French words that you brought back from Paris or no?
Nui, nui.
That's a good start.
I got.
Well, my question is going to be in English. Actually, it's about another Bay Area personality that you support. You endorsed Kamala Harris at the DNC end of August. What is your thought on the campaign? How do you feel 1 month ahead of the election? And what do you expect of tomorrow's vice presidential debate? Everything's political for French people.
No,
you know?
it's all good. Obviously, supporting her is an honor. A sophisticated leader that I, expect and have confidence she can, lead our country and provide, obviously, hope, inspiration, unity. Obviously, there's a lot of tough conversations that need to be addressed in our country and a lot of progress that needs to be made. But a level of decency and humanity at the top from our leadership is a must, and I think she checks that box. I know she has a great opportunity with the rest of the campaign leading up until the actual election to dig into her, politics and the way that she wants to impact our country, in the most powerful office in the world. And I know she'll be able to kind of do that in a meaningful way that provides confidence that she has a great plan. But first and foremost, is she going to run the entire country and be a leader for everybody? I feel like, she checks that box, and you got to start there, and that's why I have confidence in her.
Steph, hi. I know how important your foundation is, which is based in Oakland. You talk about what it means, unfortunately, for the Oakland A's. They just, had their last game, and they're the last professional major team to leave the city, and what that means going forward for the city.
I think overall it's a sad situation because, sports franchises in any city are, to borrow a line from a good friend of mine, it's a sense of hope and inspiration for a community. Whenever you start a year, it's like, a way to galvanize, again, that hope and that unity and that togetherness and having something to look forward to, and not just what it does for the economics of that city and what Oakland has meant to me is to say the least, it's been huge, just in the way that I came up in this league and being able to play in front of that fan base for those 10 years, and knowing the history of the A's, the Raiders, and the Warriors there. It sucks, but to your point, around what me and Aisha are trying to do within Oakland, it's a matter of supporting the community that supported us when we were coming up, and making sure that we still plant our flag there and have a significant presence there. But, it is unfortunate that there aren't any, more professional teams that are representing Oakland, specifically just because of how much, history there is around, sports and that fandom and that sense of pride of being from Oakland. So I don't know how you kind of work around how tough it is, but for me and Aisha, obviously, we want to make sure we continue our work there, especially through the school district, and creating opportunities for the next generation to achieve their full potential. But other than that, you have to admit how sad it is for everybody.
Stephen over here. How you doing, man?
Doing great.
Good. This is for you like the longest off season you've had in a long time since your very early career. What are the physical, mental, emotional, I guess, benefits to having such a long stretch, and how eager are you to get back on the court to play a basketball game in the NBA?
It's weird because the timing of it, knowing I had the Olympics this summer, it didn't feel like it. It felt like, you're trying to put the pieces together why, you're done playing in April. Physically, you get a break. Mentally, you're watching playoff basketball, still kind of in that grind of assessing where you are, where you need to be to, be one of those teams that are playing into June. And then I took 2 weeks off, started working out, getting ready for the Olympics. Had a 6-week run playing in the Olympics, and these last 4 weeks trying to balance rest and still staying sharp physically and mentally to get ready for a season. So it tested me in a different way. Thankfully, I had the Olympics to look forward to, so I didn't have just 5 months of sitting at home. And I think that'll hopefully allow me to get off to a good start individually. But to your question, I'm super excited to be back and to figure out what this team, needs to do to win, and just the challenge of putting all the pieces together. We got a lot of new faces and a lot of guys trying to take next steps in their careers, and it's gonna be fun from day one tomorrow when we hit the court and start getting our reps in. Because every day, we say it all the time in training camp, it is a way of thinking if you want to be great in this league, but it is true for us more than ever. Every day does matter for us to be able to figure this thing out. When
Draymond was in here earlier, he said that in some ways the new additions, the new vets coming in, is somewhat reminiscent of 3 years ago when Otto and Gary and Nemanja came in. Do you see similarities there, and what do you think of the roster as it is right now?
Yeah, very similar for sure. That's a good comparison. Guys that have been around the league in different situations and I think fit the style that we try to play, even though we do need to evolve and have a different look on offense and defense. We've had 2 years of kind of some stagnant ball at times, but still enough that we're convinced that we can be a good team. Obviously, injuries aside, you want to have everybody available, but I think pieces fit, and to your point, a good balance of youth and veteran presence that can hopefully get us off to a good start. And the good news is like I'm coming into this training camp with an open mind of how we're supposed to play. I know there's a warrior mentality and culture of how we do things. There's a system that we ran for a decade plus that has worked. Doesn't necessarily mean that's how this team needs to play. We have to have kind of antennas up on and an openness to accept what this team's strengths are, what our weaknesses are, and kind of lean into those. And that's including our youth, because we need them to play at an extremely high level for us to be the team we want to be.
What's up, Steph? You were part of the conversation this summer trying to get kind of a bigger name in here. Paul George, obviously one of those. It didn't happen. How comfortable are you where this franchise is at, where this team is at in the bigger picture with championship in mind, pretty urgently?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not the team that's holding the title at the end of the year, and even I'm sure they were thinking about it, Boston was like, you always are trying to get better. And you've been around this league long enough, from day to day, week to week, month to month, season to season, what that actually means for your team can change pretty quickly. So, you go into free agency, PG's deciding whether he wants to opt in or not. Okay, we definitely should take that meeting. And I was a part of that process. The Laurie stuff, like, the whole league's wondering what's going to happen there, and how real trade talks are, and I don't ever get caught up in that and the noise around it. When something's material, usually I know about it and we have conversations. I'm not the ultimate decision maker, but you give your input. That's how the whole process goes. And even our free agent signings this year, all 3 guys that we brought in, all our veterans, Buddy, Kyle and Melt, like, established veterans who know how to play the game and are good, pieces that you need to be a championship type team. Does that mean we're there? I don't know. You ask all 30 teams last season, do you have championship, aspirations? You probably take 8 of them serious, 12 of them, maybe, and only one gets to say, yeah, we had championship aspirations. So I think we're in that position where we can be a relevant team early and give ourselves a chance to compete, and then assess where we are, because that's what every team has to go through. We just have the shadow of, to your point, like the expectations that we're supposed to be in that conversation. I want to win, and I know everybody in that locker room wants to do their part to help make it happen. So that's how we're approaching the season.
Hi, Steph. What will it mean to honor Al Attles this season? And just, going back to your early days in Oakland, he was a face at most games. And just to give your heart and soul to an organization for more than 60 years, can you imagine that, and just sort of his legacy now?
Yeah, it's special to have the patch, and his name's on our court down in the facility. And to your point, he's such an ambassador for the entire Bay Area. The ultimate Golden State Warrior. You see his face on the wall in our practice facility. You see his name on the court. You see his number and his name in the rafters, and we know the story extremely well of what he meant on and off the court to the organization. So I don't know if any gesture will go far enough to honor him and what he meant to the entire Bay. But every conversation I had with him, he was very appreciative of his place within the organization and what he stood for, what he meant. And I hope to be in that position where you're a part of a community like that for as long as he was, because it's special and it's very unique, and it's legendary. The impact that he left. So this is a very simple but amazing gesture, and hopefully it goes broader than that for sure all year long.
Stephen, good to see you. I guess following up on that, being in the same place for a long time, we haven't spoken to you since your contract extension. How important was that for you to get that done? And as you've talked so much about, it feels like over the past couple of months, just maintaining you staying here in San Francisco.
Yeah, no secret. That's always been it always has been and still is a goal of mine to be a Warrior for life, to stay competitive throughout that process. And I know it's kind of unheard of, the short list of guys that have been in that position. Honestly, the ability to kind of just let that be known with the decision to extend, and not let that be a distraction or be a talking point all year long, no matter what really happens throughout this season, throughout next season, the third year after that. All of my energy is spent on preparing myself to play at a very high level, to do my part as part of this team to win, and everything else will reveal itself as time goes on. That's kind of the way I want to approach it, and I'm very confident in the fact that being here and being a relevant winning team is possible. And until I'm proven otherwise, that's the way I'm moving forward.
And you mentioned being open to changes on style and things like that. And Draymond was in here talking about how for so many years it was always the same thing heading into the year, and this year it's not, and it can actually be a good thing. Is there something about heading into a new chapter of this organization, of this team, without Klay, but opening other possibilities and saying we actually do have to change something, and it almost feels like there's an obvious opportunity to do so?
Yeah, I think you get smacked in the face and you don't make the playoffs. That's all the real, message you need, or reminder you need that, again, we have a way of doing things in terms of how we approach, practices, games, the level of competition you need to have. But when it comes down to, your X's and O's and the style and all that type of stuff, being open to, evolving and pivoting and figuring out especially how the league continues to evolve as well. Like, we're the hunters amongst many other teams, and what can this team do to maximize every skill set that we have in that locker room? That's the challenge for us. You know, some new faces on the coaching staff. Like you said, first time me, Klay, and Draymond haven't been together as teammates. Whatever narrative you want to kind of key in on, it's, you know, for us to win, you got to think things differently. Doesn't mean you're not going to see some consistencies with how we've played before, but featuring some of the young guys and sets that, you know, puts them in a position to be successful. You know, the different rotations that'll get us in position to compete with the best teams in the league. Like, we have to be able to figure that out and got to do it quickly.
For your first quick one, Steph, over here, what'd you think of Kerr doing the night at the DNC?
I've seen it at the DNC. I've seen it at the President's Cup in golf. I've seen it all over. Messi did it. I think Steve takes the cake on knowing, and that was a good time to pull it at the end of a great speech, and, you know, getting some good energy in the building. Siwoo Kim, shout out to you. I appreciate him doing it, even though I told him he's got to remind himself about time and score. And knowing when you pull a night out, you got to win. But yeah, it's fun to know, like, especially like you said with Steve at the DNC, is representing America and coming off the Olympics. It was and him being there, obviously, as our coach. He got free pass to do it for sure.
And I'll just say, Draymond mentioned that what struck him watching the Olympics, you at the Olympics, was how the other players on the team were reacting to it for the first time. I know it's you, so maybe you can't quite speak exactly about it, but what is it like when you have just that last shot against France? You have LeBron and KD over on the other side, and I think they're open, but you're taking that shot. You think
they were open. Yeah. They were 100% open.
What is going through your mind when you're taking that shot? You have Batum and the other guy all over you, and knowing that KD and LeBron are just fine with you taking that shot.
I wouldn't say that either, because I read body language pretty well. When I watched it back, I got trapped. I threw it to K. Braun was open on the wing, on the swing, but K threw it back to me. So when he did that, that's when your muscle memory takes over. I'm already in motion and do my move or whatever. I see the two guys, but I'm already in rhythm. As long as I get it off, I feel like I'm going to make it. But I see both of them as soon as I'm shooting their hands up, and they both went like this. Like, they didn't expect me to shoot it. I'm sure they were ready for a pass back to the weak side, but as soon as it went in, seeing Braun do the gesture, seeing the guys on the bench, you know, K threw his head back, and I was kind of in amazement. Like, that was the beauty of that team too, because the energy that we showed and the emotion that we showed in the Serbia game on the comeback and down the stretch in the Olympics, like, it mattered to everybody to get that done, and everybody knew the sense of urgency of the moment, and it was a memory for a lifetime for sure. So it's nice the way it finished for me personally, but we don't get there without all 12 guys on that team, and it was definitely something I'll remember for forever.
Stephen, obviously, Buddy and Klay, as offensive players, kind of have similar profiles, shoot threes, move around a lot, but obviously you don't have the history you had with Klay. What's it going to take, do you think, to get you and Buddy in sync, whether he's coming off the bench or whatever, because obviously they want to be able to play both you guys at the same time. So,
I mean, we'll figure that out. It's on the list of many things to kind of work through when it comes to, again, the openness of how we're going to play, what's being asked of everybody individually, you know, with their role. The different rotations that we'll experiment in training camp, preseason games, and maybe early into the year. But for Buddy, he shoots the ball. Like, you shoot open shots, you play within the system, you know, be a threat to score. You know, whenever he's out there, and that'll solve itself. You know, obviously we need a defensive mindset as well when it comes to all five guys, no matter who you're out there with. But play with a couple pickup sessions with him. Dude's a shooter. He's confident in his game, and we need that because that's such a valued commodity in the league. having a knockdown shooter that can space the floor and somebody that you always got to know where he is. So I'm not too worried about that, but it's on the list of all the things we have to figure out as a team to put it all together.
Who's first?
Obviously, you played against the Warriors many times. I'm sure you know how they play. What were your thought process when they approached you to come here, and what role do you think you're going to fill?
Just they play exciting basketball. Always know it starts with Steph. I think the continuity behind Steph, the guys playing the right way, just screening, passing. They probably lead one of the, I say for the past 10 years, leads the league in passing, just moving the ball and shoot a lot of threes, of course. It's exciting, I just always loved that style of basketball they've been playing for years. Even when I was in college, I used to go to the games when I was in Oklahoma and watch them. They play exciting brand of basketball unselfishly, and they play hard on both ends. And there's a winning culture here, so it was a no-brainer for me. Just like excited to play with those guys and just to be a sponge every day from training camp and just learn and watch and observe, and I found a way how I can fit in.
Hi, buddy. Janie McCauley from Associated Press. Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
How much do you look forward to kind of feeding off the energy of Draymond and Klay and Draymond and Steph, and picking up some of the scoring load that was lost with Klay's departure?
Just taking it one day at a time, learning stuff in training camp, learning how I can see myself fitting in. I don't, everybody says a perfect match, but you just get to take time, trying to figure out how I can, the passing, the cutting, the screening, just learning from Steph, learning from Draymond, Steve, coaching staff, the players, playing with Gary is fun too. Slow-mo, you get Melton, you get a lot of guys, Trace, you get Brandon, and you just get to figure out how I can be effective helping everybody score and feeding off all of them. It's going to be, I think it's a fun adjustment. In basketball, you come to a new job, it's just learning people. They're all great guys, so I don't think it should be hard trying to figure out a tendency. Sometimes it might take some time, but it's fun.
Will this training camp being in Hawaii kind of benefit you and some of the new guys to bring the team together a little bit more?
Training camp is always fun regardless, you're just learning from everybody. And, it's Hawaii, of course, but I think that, getting over the guys and just learning about them and being on the plane, I start getting to know the guys because it's a long season. You run these guys more around your families, so I'm excited to be around them for sure.
How was the free agency process for you? Because I know you were, playing for the Bahamas at the time when it was all going down, and I'm sure it was kind of a...
Yeah, it was a little stressful. It was a little difficult. First time go around. Different CBA rules this year, too. Trying to figure out the second apron, all that type of stuff. We didn't understand it. It was different, but, we figured it out. That's the main part about it. And like I said, I'm glad to be a Warrior. I'm excited to be here, excited to learn from these guys. I feel like God doesn't make any mistakes, and I'm here for a reason.
You mentioned the second apron and the rules. You probably couldn't have fit into their plans if some other stuff didn't go right. Was it a surprise to you? Did you even think they were an option kind of entering July?
Me and my agent, she always tell me it's like everybody's an option. You never keep nobody out. And me, did I see myself come out of California? No, I did not see it. But like I say, this is basketball. Anything happen any day, and the spot open when Klay and move, and it's a great match. Where we don't. I'm just glad to be here, and glad to be on a team and be able to learn from a championship organization, and I'm just excited to get ready to play.
Buddy, how you doing? Jason Dumas, Channel 4 here in San Francisco. You talk about adjustments and trying to fit in with the new teammates and catch all the cohesion. But I feel like you're at your best when you're being aggressive, when you're letting it fly. How do you kind of find that balance of, adjusting and learning how to play with your teammates while also being aggressive and being yourself?
It's always like a fine balance. You just want to overstep boundaries. You're the new guy coming in, but I feel like nobody has a problem with me being aggressive. I think aggressive is good. And when you're out there, you just got to figure out your niche and just play in the continuity of the offense and the flow of the offense. And I think Steph plays with a great flow. Draymond plays with a great flow. Like I said, as a scorer, you like to shoot the three. I love watching the Warriors play. So I kind of have a feel what they like doing. And scouting for them is hard, so Steph is always moving. So I'm a player who always loved moving too. So and I thrive off that. So I'm excited, man. Let's learn.
Hey, buddy. Steve Kerr said, with or without Klay returning to the team, the Warriors were going to need to add shooting regardless. Right. Have you had to have some extended conversations with him about what that's going to look like in terms of getting you to your spots and involved in a new kind of offense?
You know, when that time comes to talk to Steve, I just take everything slow and just put my way in. You know, I don't want to rush things. I want to feel everything out, feel everybody out, the players, coaching staff, and just get to know everybody first. And then after that, when it comes to that conversation, to see like where I need to exactly what we need, and I think that'll be fine.
Hey, buddy, you said you like to watch the Warriors, and can you explain a little bit about what it is you like about them? Is it the ball movement? Are they different than other teams?
Just what's so fun about them, the ball movement, the ball movement, and they're all unselfishly. They all play unselfish brand of basketball, and I think that everybody tries to play that ball movement from San Antonio days when they moving with Mano and Tony Parker and Tim Duncan, the way they move the ball, and it doesn't matter who's on the court, they all play the same brand no matter what. So that's the fun part about it, just being unselfish.
But I know some of the guys have been here scrimmaging last couple of weeks. Were you able to get in any of those scrimmages?
Yeah, a little bit.
What did you pick up from that? Was there anything you can't pick up from those things?
I mean, guys play hard. Guys are eager to get back in that championship mood, and it's just it's a certain level of seriousness here when I step in this building, and just piggybacking off everybody.
Have you been there with Steph playing in some of those?
Yeah, a little bit.
Have you been on the same team as him?
I can't remember. I don't know.
That spacing was
It'll figure out itself.
Aside from team success, what's an individual goal that you have for this season?
I just get back to the playoffs, with this group, and I think that when you have guys like Steph and Draymond and this coach like Steve Kerr and Wiggins and everybody, I think that they're always in championship mode, and you can't count them out. And just being a part of this team, I think that something special can happen.
Is there something personally that you're trying to prove?
No, just trying to win the championship. I think that's the goal for everybody, trying to win the championship in the NBA. I know you're here to win it all. Money, all of the stuff that comes with it doesn't mean nothing. But I think winning is what matters to me, and trying to win it all.
Buddy, we talked about you being with Bahamas when all this was kind of happening, and Chris DeMarco is the coach. Did you have conversations with Chris about this team, about kind of what to expect, what they instill?
Yeah. Before I made my decision, I was talking to Chris the whole time. I said, "What do you think, man?" He's like, "Man, I think it'll be perfect." Chris been talking. He's been doing a little, not say a little recruitment. He just give me a variety of things that will be good for me in my future if I came here. He never forced nothing, but he was telling me that, man, and to be honest, having a guy like Chris that I've been around all for the past 3-4 summers helped a lot too, because I understand them. I feel like a guy that I can talk to when things are not going well. So it made kind of sense too.
What are some of those things that he said that could really benefit you by coming out here?
I mean, it's talking the style of play mainly, and the way what Steve likes, and how they play, and what kind of value I can add to this team.
Similarly, was Klay with you guys at that time?
Yeah.
Did you also have conversations with Klay about this team, and was it before or after his departure? I can't quite remember. But
So see what happened with Klay. Klay happened before everything started. That was early June. Mm-hmm. So me and Klay didn't get that talk yet. But Klay is cool though. We're good buddies.
Buddy, there aren't a lot of teams that play this kind of system. Of all the systems that you've been in, what's the closest to the way the Warriors play?
I would say with Dave Yeager in Sacramento. When we were here, I don't know if you guys remember, we always, I think the split screens and getting up fast, throw aheads, In Indiana, when we played with Tyrese, we were just fast, But I think that different was Dave Yeager and his split screens and just back cuts and all that type of stuff, kind of moving the ball X, Y, Z. But similar to Indiana too, but Indiana I think was just more downhill fast, trying to outscore everybody.
Thanks.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing? You okay?
Good, man. Yes, sir. You came into this league as a shooter. I mean, out of college, out of Oklahoma, everybody saw you as a guy who can get buckets. But over the course of your career, what are the other aspects of your game you feel has, I guess, developed the most since college?
I think playmaking probably does, understanding reads. That's not always thinking score, and trying to make the right play for the right teammate. And I think this in the NBA, you know, we all can go get a bucket, but it's just trying to get the best bucket. That's what coaches like. You know, like, is it a good shot? You know, here's a shot we all can make, but is it the best shot for the team? So understand was a good shot for the team, and generating good offense, and just playing the basketball the right way. That's it. Thank you. See you guys around. Blessings. Take care.
What's up, Andrew?
How you doing?
Good, man. How you?
I'm all right.
Talk to me about the haircut. Got to start there.
I just wanted a clean look you know, for the season. And, you know, I feel like I might gain some years back.
Okay, what have you been working on this summer? Obviously, we know what happened with your dad, and sorry to hear that. But what has been your development process the last few months?
Yeah, I mean, just getting my conditioning right, shooting, you know, ball handling, decision making, just getting stronger.
Steve and Mike both noted they feel a level of like extra motivation this year. I mean, how are you feeling entering this season? How different, I guess, maybe from last year?
Very motivated. Just, you know, ready to get started and, you know, get it going.
Andrew, could you explain what happened with playing versus not playing this summer in the Olympics?
You said
with you playing in the Olympics versus not playing, what happened there?
What do you mean by that?
You were, you know, on the training camp team, and then it seemed like you were going to play, and then you did not end up playing.
No, I just had a little tweak. You know, I tweaked my ankle, and then training camp had started, so it was a little too late.
Did you want to play?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I always love representing my country.
Andrew, how different do you think this team and this locker room is going to be without Klay? Obviously, such a huge presence. Maybe not always the loudest guy, but a presence. Yeah. How different is it going to be without him?
It's going to be different, you know, for sure. You know, on and off the court, Klay's, you know, a big presence. And, you know, when you think about Golden State, you think about Klay, you think about Steph, you think about Draymond, you know. So yeah, I feel like he'll always be that, you know, that guy. But, you know, we're all going to miss him, and we know he's going to do great things over there. So.
Hey, Andrew, over here. In the offseason, did you stay in contact much with your teammates, Steph, Draymond, and those guys? And if so, can you tell us anything you guys might have talked about, like plans for the year, what you hope for, that kind of thing?
I mean, we check up on each other, you know, see how everyone's doing, see how your summer's doing. But not like crazy chit-chat.
You feel like you got to score more for this team this year with Klay gone?
More than did last year, for sure.
Was last year more about, I mean, do you feel like you kind of were lost within the offense last year or just had a bad year? I guess a combination of both.
All of the above, yeah.
Kind of following up on what Slater just asked, but when you look back 2 years ago, how productive you were on that championship team, and then the past years, what needs to happen to kind of get back to that level for you?
Stay competitive, you know, stay on top of my game, stay motivated, and every time I go on the court, you know, just believe in what I can do.
Some guys, when they hit a little bit of a slump or whatever, when they're not playing at their usual peak level, they go back and look at video of themselves when they were playing at peak level. Do you do any of that stuff to go back and look at yourself and say, wow, I was nice here, nice here? I mean, do you do any of that stuff in terms of reviewing your own work?
Yeah, you know, you see what you were doing, how you were doing it, what worked for you. You know, maybe you could have, you know, trended the opposite way of what you were doing, you know, so for sure.
Andrew, what do you attribute the last year or two to in terms of your performance compared to what we were used to seeing?
Shoot, couldn't tell you. A lot of things.
We read things in the paper. Steve Kerr talking and the other players talking, and one recurring thing we hear is that you're in great shape. They think you look good. You seem to be in super shape. Can you tell us about that? Did you go deeper in that?
I mean, I just been working hard, you know, this summer. trying to put myself in the best possible, position to, do well.
Hi, Andrew. What did Al Attles mean to you and his presence around here? I'm sure you got to know him a little bit along the way.
He's a legend, from coaching to GM to, just being around everybody. He was a big presence and, just, a legend around here. And, I'm sure, we're all going to miss him. Yeah, you don't see that. You don't see that. He was a special guy.
Aside from team success, what's the individual goal that you have for this season?
Individual goal, be more efficient than last year.
The All-Star game is going to be here next February, and obviously you were in the All-Star game a couple of years ago. How important would it be for you to try and want to be on part of the team since it's coming to your place?
Yeah, that would be amazing. Obviously I'm a strive for that. Work hard and do what I can to hopefully get there. But I just got to stay consistent, stay on it.
What do you think it's going to take to do it?
We got to win.
One thing that Steve and Mike the other day said was that they want to feature you in the offense much more. Mm-hmm. When you hear that, what does that look to you, just from a basketball sense?
Getting me downhill, more threes, just being involved, in the offense, whether it's coming to me, whether I'm initiating something, it can be a lot of different things.
Andrew, this may sound silly, but to be more efficient, what are the keys? That was something you said a moment ago. Are there certain things that you do to try to make that happen?
Mm-hmm. Well, first, take good shots. That's one way. And I feel like aggression. When I'm aggressive, I get to the basket. Good things happen.
Does it matter to you whether you're playing the 2 or the 3? In some ways they're kind of interchangeable in some cases. What for you, what's the difference if there is any?
I feel like on this team it's the same thing for real. 2, 3, almost the same thing.
Anything else?
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
What's up, come on?
What's up?
I know you've kind of talked about maybe altering your game some this year, particularly on the offensive end. What do you think that actually looks like in a game potentially this year?
For me, just being more aggressive, taking open shots. I probably in the years past I would turn down 5 before I took one. So being more aggressive, shooting more threes. More threes for me is actually shooting one a game, 1 or 2. So I'm gonna start there and see how things go.
I almost think you're almost never actually out standing at the 3-point line. Do you expect that? That's almost a strategic thing. Do you think you'll be planted out there at times?
I'm actually out there a lot. I'll be at the top of the key, and I would instead of looking at the rim, I would just go do a handoff or something like that. So just looking at the rim more, being more aggressive, and our offense probably be a little different. We got some new coaches, and they're gonna probably implement some new things. So just seeing where what we add to our offense, and kind of see where I can incorporate stuff I worked on this summer.
Kevon, did that just switching up your game, adding to your game, I should say, did that come directly from the coaching staff? Was it a collaborative thing? What made you really want to pivot in that direction?
Just seeing how the game is going, what our team needs. I know for the reasons we talked about it a little bit. I know what what kept me off the floor in big situations, and I want to take it to the point where my offense is the reason I can't be in the game. So I want to try my best to try to be on the floor as much as possible, and being able to shoot the ball, be able to score is a big thing in the NBA, and you can't play if you can't do that. So I'm just trying to improve and extend my career as long as possible.
Following up on that, and Steven here the other day was saying, he doesn't really know what that starting lineup is going to look like yet. You mentioned not being on the floor all the time. What conversations, if any, have you had with the coaching staff about what they want to see from you, what your role will be as you kind of head into camp in the season?
None really. And we haven't really talked about roles. We just compete in camp, and I kind of know what they expect from me. Like things I worked on this summer, I want to add, but they expected for me to do the things I've always been good at, which is rebounding, defending at a high level, and being vocal and different things like that. So I'm gonna continue to do that and try to incorporate the new things that I added. But we haven't went over roles and everything yet.
Hi, Kevon. How you doing? What do you think is reasonable to expect from the young guys? I mean, there's been obviously Jonathan made a lot of progress last year, and Brandon and TJD both had good rookie years. Moses is there. How much of a step can they take, and how much do you guys need those for to kind of leap forward?
The sky is the limit for those guys. They're young, but they're talented. They're proving that they can play in this league and play winning basketball. We're going to need them for us to reach our ultimate goal and take a next step and really be really good and really compete and contend. We need those guys to play a lot of minutes and play at a high level. So they put in the work this summer. They've been looking great. We just got to put together as a unit, and everybody has to play at their best for us to be a good team.
Hey, Kevon. Everybody kind of knows about Steph, Klay, and Draymond over the years, but you became, one of the leaders on this team as well with your tenure here. Just curious how you think you guys can fill the leadership void that's left with Klay leaving the team.
It's not going to be easy. A guy like that, he's been here he was here for a long time. He helped build a special team in Dynasty, and his spirit was always going to be missed, but he's been a great mentor to a lot of young guys, and he kind of showed us the Warrior way and how to play and how to carry yourself. So for me, Moses, BP, got to play with him, JK, we all learned from him. So we'll be able to, it's not a one-person thing. You just got to kind of carry it. And, Steph and Draymond are already terrific leaders. So something that you can't just replace, but I think we have the people and the character in the locker room to keep it moving forward.
If I can ask a follow-up question. You said you've been playing with those guys, obviously the young guys. Anything from one or two of them you've seen that's different? Anything they've added to their games that would allow them to take that step forward you talked about earlier?
From playing, I got to see Moses play with him. Just him scoring the ball, him being more confident about getting to his spots was really exciting to see, and his level on the defensive end. JK, just his poise, his patience, something that I've been seeing in his development. Then watching BP and Trace during Summer League and seeing how they was able to control the game and win a lot, have a huge impact on both sides of the floor is it's going to be big for us. So just watching them guys develop and grow and come more mature and more have a better IQ on the court is very exciting to see.
Lund, what exactly did you do this summer to work on that three? Who were you working out with, and how many shots were you taking? Can you get the details?
I was down at UCLA working out with my guy Jared Cook. Shot a lot more threes. Probably 400, 500 every day. In the past I would shoot some, but that wasn't my focus. I would just do light spotting, but after watching a lot of film and seeing where I potentially might get shots from, watching where Draymond might get a three from, or last year watching where Dario might get a three from, just watching those different spots, seeing how I would get there, and really focusing in on those type of shots. And I'm still not going to be out there hunting threes. Like, I'm not going to be out there like Klay or somebody, but I just want to be able to, when the time has come to space the floor, to be able to make an open shot, practicing getting threes out of rhythm. I'm not just getting to catch and shoot all the time. So learning how to do it off a pick and pop, doing off a ball reversal, doing when a guy's not holding you, you getting dare shots. Just learning how to get in the flow. And I played a lot of 5-on-5, so just doing it out there as well.
What's the technique too on the threes?
I wouldn't say so much technique. I always had a good foundation for the three. Just about more of a mental thing of actually shooting it. It's you always can improve on your technique and on my base and my form and my follow through, small things like that. But for me, it's just more about just shooting it and shooting it with confidence.
Quick first one. You shot the three a little bit at UCLA, right, when you were playing?
Yeah, I shot 40%. I shot really good at UCLA, but that was a long time ago.
Second one, I just want to remember that when you said that. What was it like watching Steph in the Olympics do what he did? You've seen it obviously up close, but to see him do it on that stage, and then also see him sign the 1-year extension to tie himself to this team for another year.
It was exciting. Especially when there wasn't a lot of no basketball on, but that's the best time to watch, and for him to put on a show on the biggest stage when the pressure's on is what I expect from him. But it's always fun to see. It's always fun to see how he can top himself, how he can outdo what he's done before, and he always kind of finds a way to put on a new show. So it was fun to see, and for him to sign an extension, that's great for our team, great for the Bay Area, and great for his organizations. He's been a pillar of the community and a pillar of the NBA for a long time, and we want him to play here and in the NBA as long as possible.
Steve's really kind of pumping up the idea of like it's a camp competition. Starting spots are open everywhere. I mean, you've kind of always kind of been in a competition in a sense, but like, do you feel this camp that there is more team-wide, minutes available, starting spots, everything?
Definitely, it's a lot more uncertainty when you lose a piece like Klay, then you add a bunch of new faces. Team is in different directions, so we got a lot of young talent. We got a mix of veterans and young, so it's gonna be fun. It's just basketball, and we all love to compete. Like training camp is always a competition, so it's gonna be fun. It's for me like it's always kind of the same. I always got to compete. We always had a competition for the center position, so it's nothing new for me. But it's gonna be fun, and we got a chance to be really good, and we're deep, and that's a good problem to have.
A little different camp this year, being in Hawaii. How did you react when you found out? And then what are you hoping to get out of that experience being with the guys away from here for a week or so?
It should be fun. When I seen it happen, this is my first time doing it, like to actually start training camp somewhere else. We done traveled like after a week after being in training camp, but to actually start somewhere else is going to be a lot of fun. My first couple of years, one of my agent kept saying, I heard y'all going to Hawaii for like 5 years in a row. We never went. So for it to actually happen in year 10, it's going to be fun, especially with a lot of new faces. Get to bond, get to know each other better, spend a lot of quality time. When you're at home, you kind of get stuck in your routine that you do at home. But when you're on the road, you get to really lock in and go to dinner more and really hang out. And we're going to need that with all the new guys and to build that new chemistry.
10 seed and 46 wins last year. What do you think is a realistic expectation for this group?
I mean, when you got Steph and Draymond winning it all is always what you want to happen. We feel like we got the talent, but we still got a lot to figure out, a lot to do. But we got to win a championship. You got to make the playoffs. We didn't make the playoffs last year, so for me, I'm just saying we're gonna start there, but make sure we making the playoffs. Hopefully, getting the home court advantage and see what happens.
Did you say 10th season?
It's about my 10th year. Yeah.
Is that shocking to you, or
Yeah, it's not shocking. I always had faith, but it might be shocking to some people. But I feel like I put in the work to have a long career. I'm still only 28, so I feel like I got some time left, and hopefully I can play a long time. Maybe not as long as like Steph or somebody, but maybe like get to 14, 15. That'd be awesome.
Gary?
Yes, I plan on being available this year. So let's go ahead and get that out the way now. Feeling good, healthy. Body's feeling great. No hiccups this summer, no nothing. Ready to go. So let's get those out the way now.
One Based on some of the things that the team did this offseason, and based on some of the ways that Mike and Steve were talking, it seems like defense is going to be a big priority this year and committing to the defensive end. How do you see, you're obviously going to be a big part of that, but how do you see this team and what they're capable of doing defensively?
We got a lot of, young fresh legs. Reese coming in, Melton coming in, Kyle with his IQ is just. We have a lot of pieces that I think are going to blend together on the defensive end and use our brains on defensive end together better. So I feel like we have a bunch of numbers. We're pretty deep, I think, defensively. But like I said, some of the young guys is going to have to, get thrown in the fire and figure it out. But I feel like, we'll be good on that side this year. Transition defense and transition offense, I think, we'll do a lot better than we have been.
Gary, hi.
Hey.
What do you think it's going to be like without Klay for the first time? And what are you going to miss most about him?
That's probably a Dre or Steph question. They've been here the longest, but since I've been here, Klay's just been, Klay. I love, when come see his face comes in on the boat, see him on Instagram live, driving to practice. It's just his energy, on and off the court. Especially we're going to miss him on the court. You know what he brings. He's just a, tough shot maker, tough shot taker. So, you can't really duplicate that and what he does. So, we just come out and we're going to miss him, but excited to kick his ass pretty soon.
Hey, Gary, over here. People are talking about threes. Like Looney came in and said he's been practicing like crazy on his threes, and Pajemski is emphasizing that. And are you thinking that more too? Thinking more.
Yeah, always available and ready to shoot. Kind of working my way up from the corners. That's where I like to be. But if they're there, I got to take them. Seen Loon working on it. I know Brandon's going to take a few more this year. So just be ready. Just try to make as many as I can. But not emphasis, just shoot when I need to.
Gary, how's it going?
How you doing?
Good. You mentioned Brandon. Can you speak to the young guys, and particularly the guards, Brandon and Moses, and sort of what you've seen from them in the pre-camp games, and how much of a step you think they're ready to take?
Oh, absolutely. Brandon already showed that, last year out the gates, and he's been grinding and growing ever since. Moses has been doing that for the last 4 years, so not worried about Moses at all. Just when he comes in, he gives it all his all every time. And Brandon, he's just getting more confident, being out there, USA this summer. I think he picked up a lot at the USA camp, with all the great ones. So I think they're excited and ready to come out and, show what they've been working on. So not worried about them.
Gary, did you watch the Olympics? Not the Steph part, but just in general?
Oh, a lot of sports. Water polo, table tennis was crazy, actually. That was probably the funnest that I watched. Archery. Yeah, pretty much a lot of sports.
You ever watch and think you could have been an Olympic high jumper? Seriously?
Probably like 2 years ago. I probably could, but not anymore. No, I haven't. Water polo, though. I used to play water polo, so that's fun and dangerous, though, at the same time.
Kind of obviously came in with the emphasis that you plan on being available this year. How was your summer? How much playing were you able to do? How cleared were you most of the summer?
Oh, no, I was good.
Yeah.
Ever since came back from the, SAC game, I messed up my calf a little bit. But after that, rehab for the next probably 2 weeks here before summer, and then I was good. Just trying to bulletproof everything and just get my body ready and prepare for this long season.
Best you felt since?
Oh yeah, I was good. It was probably my first summer in a few years without rehab and all that stuff. So I felt good moving around, doing stuff. So it was good. Oh, you guys.
Gary, over here, man. How you doing, man?
What's up, big dog?
This is probably the longest offseason this team has had in a long time. Did you get an itch early? I mean, did it feel like it was that long for you? Because I know you wanted some of that for rehab and stuff, but what was it like just to have so much time between the end of last season and training camp?
It was good, but in a way, like you said, it was the longest that I've probably had since I've been in the league, and a summer without rehabbing and surgeries and all that stuff. So it was good, to get everything put everything back together body wise, and then just sit and just prepare basically. Work on stuff that I need to. Had extra time to go do different things, get my body right. So it was good, but like you said, I think we're ready and itching to get back.
In the past, you've kind of said that your job is to, steal the ball, get it to 30, and maybe make an occasional 3. When you go into this season, I mean, is that still basically the plan, or is that a few more things you want to try and do?
Yeah, with Klay gone, I think everybody's gonna have to step up and try to fill his presence and whatnot. So that's just gonna go down to second unit and whoever's gonna be in that starting lineup, just to try to get us off to a good start. But yeah, I've been working on a lot of different things. More ball handling things. That I usually do is just wasn't needed at the time for the team. So I think we're probably gonna need a little bit more extra stuff now that 11's gone.
Not to keep piling on the availability thing, but you said you were trying to bulletproof everything this summer. What does that mean? What does that look like?
Just get bigger, faster, stronger, get my conditioning back up to another elite level. And I think that if I can do that, it'll cut out most of the little nicks and knacks and all the little things that happen during the seasons.